Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you had a good Easter, haven't eaten too much chocolate, have managed to enjoy the sunshine, and have got some rest and are ready for the start of the summer term. So, the theme of my assembly this morning is about giving back and acts of kindness. So, I want to talk to you about an experience I had a few years ago. In 2013, I was privileged to take 32 Year 12 and 13 students from Lutterworth College to Africa, to Kenya, to do some work in Nakuru, which is in the Rift Valley province in Kenya. So we flew into Nairobi and we travelled about 2 hours from Nairobi up to Nakuru. And you can see where Nakuru is on the end of the red line. It initially it was tarmac roads, and then it turned into dirt tracks, and they got more and more potholed as we continued along them. But very beautiful area that we were in. So just a few facts about Kenya to give you a little bit of context. So it's a very poor country. Half the nation in Kenya live off less than 60p a day. So that's 60 English pennies, not a lot of money at all. 40% or 4 out of 10 people in Kenya are unemployed with no means of income to feed or support their families. And 20% of children, so 1 in 5 children, do not actually live to see their 5th birthday, so they never make it to school. There's a massive lack of education. Education is for the wealthy, and you have to pay for education in Kenya. There are schools for the poorer children, as you'll see, but they don't have paid teachers. They're funded by volunteers. There's no free healthcare service. Those kind of very simple illnesses and diseases that wouldn't cause a problem in this country can escalate and turn into something more serious that in some cases results in death. And hence 20% of children don't make it to their 5th birthday. And there's this massive gap between the rich and the poor, the rich being very rich and the poor, as you'll see, living in very squalid and unsanitary conditions. So we were there for 2 weeks volunteering. So we did the touristy stuff at the weekends, but during the weeks, from Monday to Friday, we were working in Luchema Children's Home and the Jubilee Academy. Both of them were schools, and one of them had boarders who stayed overnight. So this slide shows you some photos of the work that we were doing. So we spent some time repainting the toilet blocks. You can see on the top right hand photo and the top left hand one the long drop toilet blocks, and literally long drop means no flushing button, no running water, just a hole in the ground and a deep pit underneath where you did your business and it dropped into the hole. We spent time putting up a fence around Luchema Children's Home, and the picture in the middle at the top and the two below it on the right hand side. You can actually see Mr. Hodges there, who came on the trip, pulling a cart with the timber on to build the fence. There was no truck delivery, no lorry pulled up and offloaded the timber. It was literally pulled in on the hand truck that you can see there. And we built the fence around to make the site secure from intruders for the young people that went to school there, and for those that were living there permanently. On the left hand side at the bottom at Jubilee Academy, we were laying a floor in a new classroom that had been built, and the floor was dirt. The dirt was brought in the wheelbarrows, and our students were levelling the floor and stamping the dirt down to compact it. So the other thing that we did, we were volunteer teachers. So there were some teachers in the school, but a lot of the work was done by volunteers. So our students spent their days teaching in the classrooms, teaching really basic things like numbers 1 to 10, days of the week, weather, how to add up simple sums, how to name the different parts of the body. And they worked in the classrooms, sometimes supporting the teachers and sometimes actually teaching the lessons. And even though we prepared for that, that was really, really challenging work. The reality of what we went to and the facilities that we were teaching in were far more basic than anything we could have imagined. One of the reasons that the children go to school is because all of the schools have a feeding programme. So this may be the only meal that the children get in a day. If you think what I said, that there are high levels of unemployment, so often there isn't money coming in, they don't know where the next family meal is going to come from. So by attending these charity schools, the children at least are guaranteed a hot cooked meal once a day. And on the bottom right hand photo you can see all of the bowls that our students, our Lutterworth College students, had filled up with the meals for that sitting, and they were about to go and serve them to the classrooms. Over 100 children in each school would get fed each day, and there weren't 100 plates and cups, so the children had to be patient whilst half the school ate, and then the other half would eat once the bowls and cups had been rinsed out. It wasn't a kitchen as you or I would imagine it. If you look at the top left-hand photo of the white wooden building, the food was cooked over open wood fires, and that was the kitchen that you can see there, with these smoky wooden fires that were kept going throughout the day, and these huge great metal pans that they cooked the food on for the children in the classrooms. And as I've said, that might be the only meal that those children got that day. Some of the best bits of being there were playtime. The schools were such places of happiness, and the children absolutely loved playing. So we took balls, rounders, bats, skipping ropes. You can see in the bottom middle photo we took bubbles. We also took lots of sweets with us. And we would play relay games, wheelbarrow races. We would have the skipping ropes out and play skipping games. Really simple games, like in the bottom left-hand photo, they're playing Ring a Ring a Roses, clapping games that you can see in the right-hand photo. And the laughter and the smiles on the children's faces, it was just such an amazing experience. There was always happiness. They had so little, but yet it was such a happy place to be. We took with us a lot of money that we had fundraised, and you can see in the top right hand photo, we used that money to buy things like mattresses for the boarding schools. There are new cooking saucepans, washing up bowls, and we bought all of those donations and took them with us for the two schools to use. We also took lots and lots of arts and crafts materials, basic classroom equipment like pens, pencils, exercise books, and we packaged all of that up. So everybody who went on the trip took 2 suitcases. One was full of their own stuff that they needed for the trip, and the other one was full of donations that we then gave to the schools to use. We also took a whole load of clothes that kind of our siblings had outgrown, and those were given out to the school children and to their families and those in need. We had the privilege of being able to visit some of the families of the children who attended the school in their homes, and you can see in the bottom right hand photo Mr. Hodges stood pointing at all of the donations that we took. So each family we visited, we took a small gift pack of food, some really basic things like flour, sugar, cooking oil, tea bags, as a gift for allowing us into their homes. And we went walking through the slums, and they truly were slums. If you look at the top right photo, you can see the kind of area that we were walking through, and that literally is rubbish, just discarded on muddy streets. And those muddy streets, when it rains, you've got kind of open sewers running through there. It wasn't very pleasant at all, but that's the reality of where those children live, and it was a very humbling experience to be able to see that. And we were welcomed into people's homes. You can see an example of one of the buildings on the left hand side. It literally is a single room, maybe 2 meters by 2 meters, a really small space that many people would be living in. And it's a multifunctional space, but a real privilege to be able to see the environment that those children came from and to be welcomed into their homes, and to be able to meet their parents. And they were so welcoming to us and so pleased to see us and to be able to share their lives with us. So I wanted to share this with you because I think it's really important, giving back. So obviously I was very privileged to be able to go on this trip and to be able to take the students I took. And I was able to give back to this community for the 2 weeks that I was there. But small acts of kindness are sometimes very simple to achieve, whether it be popping to the shops for a neighbour, whether it's taking a letter to the post box, whether it's phoning somebody who perhaps is alone, just to say hello. Particularly at the moment, where people are isolated, these small acts of kindness go a long way. So ask yourself, what could you do if you get an opportunity to go on a trip like this? Then grab it, because it is an amazing, life-changing opportunity. I still have those memories now, and it was an amazing kind of thought-provoking, and I suppose life-changing, sounds a bit corny, but life-changing experience. So if you get this opportunity, go for it. If you don't, what can you do for the people around you, however small, to make a difference? Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good week.